Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today for you, we've got a match of WarGreymon X versus BloomLord. Both decks we anticipated to be very prevalent in this format. So far, WarGreymon X definitely showing its teeth in the format, but Bloom also, it is getting its tops here and there. Not quite on the level of WarGreymon X, but both are still holding down their own. So I wanted to get these two, going against each other. Basically, it's a race to see who pops off first, and that's pretty much how these matches go. I got two games for you today, so I hope you enjoy them. If there are any decks I haven't covered yet for the current format, let me know. If there's something you want to see that I haven't done yet, a deck or something like that that's pretty relevant, put it in the comment section below. Let me know so I can try to get that on the channel. I'm trying to think up a few more ideas before we jump into like EX5 proxies and then getting ready for Nats, because that's going to be what the next month and a half is basically going to be about, is prep for Nats, because it's right around the corner for the US players here, which will be EX5 format. So we're going to have to get some EX5 proxies and then get those games headed your way. But if there's anything you want to see for the current format, let me know. Also, don't forget to check out our Etsy page, link in the description below. There you can find all of the memory markers we've ever featured on the channel, all handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted as well. Super adorable, fantastic memory markers for whatever your deck you're playing, or if you want to just get a random one and throw your opponent off to make them think that you're playing a certain deck and then you're not doing that at all. That works too. Very, very sneaky plays there that you could do. As well as make sure you check out what we have for new Digimon merch. We've got some really cool acrylic pieces that my wife has been making here. Numerous different colors. They're super adorable. You can order them as fridge magnets, as keychains. You can just have them plain and just use them as memory markers or whatever you want. Just a cool, neat little Digimon figure. All right, remembering to hit the record button at the beginning this time. So, Greymon going first here. We're seeing the BT5 Agumon going into the new Agumon and then right into an Agumon X. Just tons of draws there for very efficient. Then we're going to see Greymon coming down. This is the one that gains you the 1 memory back after you Evo. So essentially it's kind of like a 1 Evo cost and gives a 2k buff to your Greymons. On the other side, we got Bloom going. We see the Argomon and then Lawlamon, and then with the new Mimi to pass turn. That new Mimi is a Searcher, which is pretty nice. So goes ahead and picks up the, I think that was the Agitar that they picked up. Kicking over to us here, we just pop down a red memory boost and then pick up the Searcher Agumon. That's the one that grabs you a Greymon or a tie. Here, they are proxying the one green memory boost for a training card there. Picks up the Palmamon Rookie. For us, just a little bit of a debate there of what to go with. Going here with that Searcher Agumon here. And a reveal 4, grab a Greymon. We will pick up the starter deck. I believe it's starter deck 15 Greymon that gives security attack +1 inheritable. Here we're going to see a free Evo because of the training card into Sunflower. Going to, when Digivolving, suspend itself to play out another Sunflowermon, tapping that Mimi to gain a memory there. So we're seeing both Sunflowermons in play here. The other one is main. It's not a win Digivolving, so they could play it, choose to use it, but they do not here. Or I guess they do. They're going to suspend itself. Oh no, they're going to go Agitar, suspend, play the Palmon to then dig. Did not see what they picked up there. I believe it was another Palmon Searcher. And there we're seeing Bloom dropping down here. So going to suspend the other target there. So there's 3 suspended, so it's going to gain 3 memory back. There are 2 suspended on play, so it's going to unsuspend itself there. Now it's going to swing security here. We'll be at 14k. And we'll have piercing, but that's not going to matter. When they hit into exactly 14k, the Blitz Omnimon definitely feels super bad. Just one body off from being able to get that DP for that 16k. But then just going to go into a Cherrymon here to pass turn. And then just dropping a tie here. That's the security attack +1 tie, just to kind of help set up for a future turn here. Getting set to 3 memory is actually super explosive for the deck. We're seeing Palmon coming down there. Should gain the memory off the Argomon. I might have missed that. So Palmon search there. Taps the Mimi, gains memory. Going Blossommon, Digizorption to draw a card. Suspends the Palmon. Looks like they're just trying to figure out what they're going to go with here. They're probably expecting a super like explosive turn from us next round. We got the red memory boost. We've got the being set to 3 memory. So they know we have the Metal Greymon with the security attack +1. Probably can expect a Metal Greymon X. So going to be a massive swing. So got lots to plan for there. Decides to go for a Bloom here for 4. Suspends the Cherry. Draws for Evo. Unsuspend itself because there are, again, 2 or more. Swings in. Nothing major there. I do have that Metal Greymon in the deck, but it was actually just a proxy for the starter deck one for this go around. And then goes for the Hydramon here. Only Evo. I think they only Evo'd for 4. But then gain memory back because of inheritables. And then just double checking Hydra and just all the what goes into it. So checking how much memory is gained, things like that. Just verifying there was a slight errata, but it was like almost inconsequential. It really didn't change much there. So just making sure that whenever I suspend, it's not something else like getting bottom deck, because that's what Hydramon. God, I want to call it by the other name. You know the name I'm thinking of. Man, I can't believe you used the alt art on camera. Good gracious. So here we're going to see the Metal Greymon here going to 0 memory. Blocker with security attack +1 inheritable. We're going to see the Metal Greymon X coming down for 0 memory, drawing a card, giving another security attack +1, and getting us 3000 DP. Not too bad there. We'd also have the Greymon. We have no protection though, so if we hit into something like I'm forgetting the name of it. The BloomLord option card that bottom decks is suspended. So here we're going to go into the new WarGreymon using offensive training to only make it a 2 Evo. We're going to then essentially blitz. We have piercing here, so we're going to pierce over that. We're at like 17,000 DP. We've got 5 security checks coming in here. Unfortunately, the big thing that we were needing was X Antibody and WarGreymon X. If we had had that, then all those security checks, we would have gained the memory back, and then we would have had Blitz Omni for game, just showing it was in hand there. Just missing that WarGreymon X. Super big bummer there. Looks like we might have been also missing the WarGreymon or the X Antibody option as well. So here, pretty much they have game, so everything gets suspended off that Quartzmon here. Going to gain a ton of memory back. Got to do a lot of math there. So gains back 4, swings, trashes the security automatically, and then just immediately wins the game. So going into game number 2 here, I will say most of our games, our recordings ended up like this one. So get ready for this crazy show. Very similar starts to game 1 here. This time they'll go Agumon X getting hard played here. Going to pick up the security attack +1 Greymon. Digging for the X Antibody option. You gotta be really careful with your searches. You don't want to accidentally bottom deck that one. Here they're going to just hard play a Yoshino just to get that memory fixer online. We see another Agumon X, this time in raising for another draw. Greymon, security attack +1 inheritable Greymon for 2. And here we're just going to swing with the Agumon. Somehow lives. Pretty wild. And then immediately just going into the Metal Greymon. Not even waiting for a Greymon X. Just going straight for the Metal Greymon. Getting ready for a big power play here. Don't want to waste any time. Waste too much time here. So Digivolves into the Sunflower. Suspends the Yoshino to gain a memory. Debating what to do. They have the when Digivolving effect. They could use if they so choose. Decides not to. Goes straight for the Agitar. Agitar will suspend himself to then play a body for free. And then goes for the Lalamon. Digimon was played, so he's going to draw for that Sunflower. I did not even see what they picked up. Completely missed it. Did gain the memory back from the Lalamon that was missed earlier. From the Agitar Evo. And then we're seeing another Sunflower, this time using the Wind Digivolving, but deciding to go for a Palmumon. In this matchup, very interesting choice. I think he said that he like completely bricked and had no like alternative to play. He literally had no other target there. I'm like, that sucks. So here goes for the Cherrymon Digisorption by suspending that Palmumon. And then just a training, green agility training to pass turn there. Kicking it back over to us, putting us just at 2 memory here. Not a ton there. I do see an X antibody option in hand this time. And that immediately slide that under. Very, very powerful card. We do go into the Metal Greymon X here for security attack +1 and 3K. And then scooting the stack down. You know what that means? There's something's coming right here. Just debating on the proper order. Make sure no other plays are going to be missed here. So here we're going to see the WarGreymon. It's going to have the Blitz. And then with the Piercing, uses the Cherrymon to redirect into the Palmumon. And then drawing for the Koromon. And then Evoing here finally into the WarGreymon X. Does still have the Piercing, which is nice. Because the new WarGreymon gains it. And then so we're going to gain 1 memory for every card checked here. And then swing Agumon X for game, which was basically, that's the play we were looking for in the previous game that we saw. The WarGreymon swung, but we didn't have the X antibody option to Evo into the WarGreymon X. Because you really need both of those cards to really get that combo off. Because you Evo into the WarGreymon, it pretty much always passes turn, but that's going to give you security attack +1. It's going to give you the piercing. It gives you the raid and of course the blitz. So you get all 4 of those like immediately. So even if you Evo the WarGreymon X on top of him, you still get to keep those buffs for the round. So that's the general idea of why I went for the security or the secret rare WarGreymon instead of the previous one with the raid and unsuspend. While that strategy does work as well, so you can basically swing twice, less security checks in general, but you get multiple swings, which sometimes could come up. Then you don't even need Blitz Omnimon if the security is low enough. Then you just use your second swing then to go for game. We did kind of basically force the Cherrymon effect there because we were going to swing into the Cherrymon, so he redirected it off of the Cherrymon. So that was my plan, was to either force the Cherrymon once per turn effect redirect, or we just kill it outright and we don't have to worry about it, so then we can go for game after all the checks. Again, we had no protection on this stack, so that can also Grandel Soul. That's the option card I was thinking of. If we had hit one of those, that would have been super bad. Normally we we hit the Greymon X, but it was kind of funny. We did, I think, 4 recordings. And I think 3 of them were basically like this game, where we just like, we waited, and then we just like, boom, here's full combo, like that's game. Go WarGreymon X, gain the memory back, Blitz Omnimon, and then you can Evo into the Omnimon X that trashes a security as well as removes a threat off the field, like if there's a blocker, or say there's a second Cherrymon with a redirect effect. You can clear that with the Omnimon X and then still get game. So most of our games basically worked out. The one game, though, where Bloom took it in the beginning, that first game, that was pretty solid. We had one other one that was super close that in reality, they probably should have won, but no lie, they hit 2 Hades forces in security back to back. It was crazy. They hit one and then built up and then hit another one and lost their bloom 2 different times. And we ended up taking that one, but on a realistic game, like, the chances of that are just so slim. So I didn't want to show that game for you guys. That one was, I would say in total though, it was like 3 to WarGreymon to 2 of Blooms. So, like, they're both pretty close. It is, like I said, it's just a race to see who pops off first and who sees pieces first. Because, like, as we saw there, the Bloom deck cannot really control what WarGreymon does at all. They can just sit in raising area till they're ready to go, and just promote up. Even with the Hydramon on field, they gain some extra memory. But they just punched right over it and then gained a bunch of memory back with the WarGreymon X because it had the piercing. So very, very hard to control the WarGreymon deck. And then the WarGreymon deck really doesn't care about, the attempted blocks and stuff like that, because they're going to have the piercing, so they can basically just do whatever they want to the opponent's field, raid and piercing. So very, very powerful combos there. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the game here. We'll have deck profiles for both of these later this week. If, again, like I said earlier in the video, if there's anything that you want to see, definitely put in the comment section below so we can go ahead and get it on the channel for you guys. I think next week I've got 2 of our local players. One's going to be playing Sukamon, and the other one will be playing the new Gomamon deck. So that came out in this set in BT14. So 2 relatively fresh decks with tons of new support that we haven't really seen before. So something fun and different, not entirely like super meta aggro craziness on the channel. So taking it 1 week off from that. But after that, let me know, and hopefully we can get it covered before we jump into the EX5 format.